Hey everyone, it's Dawn here. Welcome back to my daily breakdown of the 2023 preliminary hearing of California versus Larry Millete in the heartbreaking case of Maya Millete. This is a local case for me by way of reminder. New episodes drop daily, except on weekends, which is a new change. So make sure you have your notification bells turned on and set so you know when new episodes drop. You can catch up on all of the episodes and get context for this episode if you just happened upon it. Hi and welcome back. Or bookmark or even share Maya's playlist that I created for you. And it's can be located at bit.ly/mm playlist. I'm going to spell that out for you. It's lowercase bit like Tom .ly/capital M hyphen capital P lowercase LAYLIST. So with that, we're going to start today with a new witness. We're still on day 4, but we're in the afternoon session. And this is not a family member. This is a friend of Maya's that she met while she was doing her off-road hobby with her family, with her kids in her new Jeep. And I think she had a Jeep prior to that, but she did have a new Jeep. He's going to talk about that. So I do believe this will be 2 episodes of Blaine. Maya's father finished up. Thankfully for him, I'm sure it was not easy for him. And so today we're going to start covering Blaine. So with that, let's give it a roll.
Blaine Hinkley, Hinkley.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Mr. Hinkley, what do you do for a living?
I'm a plumber.
I want to direct your attention to photograph. Courts Exhibit 3-1. Do you recognize who's in that photograph?
I do.
Who is that person?
Maya.
And when did you meet Maya?
So I met Maya doing some off-roading in our Jeeps in the end of 2020 on 2 trips specifically, 12/12 and then the day after Christmas, and we went down to the desert.
I'm going to ask you some questions about that, but let's back up first. Are you part of some type of group on Facebook? How is it that you actually met?
Sure. So initially it was through the San Diego Jeep Club, but that's not how I met her. Through meeting friends in the Jeep Club, we sort of went off and kind of made our own group. And in that small group, she was invited through proxy of somebody else.
So just so we understand, what is the San Diego Jeep Club?
San Diego Jeep Club is an off-road group specific to Jeep owners. Basically, they meet monthly, go out and do off-roading runs for people that own Jeeps, mostly Wranglers, to get together and just go out and have fun with their Jeeps, meet other like-minded people, crawl on top of rocks and take pictures of it.
And can anyone join the Jeep Club?
As long as they have a Jeep. Yeah, just for this one specific group. There's many other off-road groups in San Diego, and it's not specific to just Jeeps.
So are you on a Facebook Messenger communication or on Facebook with this Jeep, the San Diego Jeep Club?
I'm no longer in the club. When I had gone to a couple events and I had met some people, and then we sort of created our own little group. You kind of click in with people that you like, and so I had some Facebook messages excuse me, with people that we had created our own little group with.
And who are those people?
You want to know names?
Just a few of the names that.
There would be Kevin, my friend Angela. Trying to think who else was in that original chat. Lori.
Is it fair to say that within the group then you kind of find the people that maybe you enjoy spending time with, and then you kind of start planning kind of offshoot trips with those people?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to hang out with everybody, and not everybody wants to hang out with everybody else. So yeah, we certainly find the people that we have the most in common with.
Did you meet Maya first, or did you communicate on Facebook with her first?
I met her first.
And where was it that you met her?
So that would be the first run on December 12th, 2020. And we did a run down the desert to a specific area called Painted Gorge down in Ocotillo.
Okay. And how far away is that?
I'm geographically inept, so just down the desert. I live in Santee.
East?
It is
West?
east,
North?
yeah. It's far east down on the desert floor, down in those that may be not familiar with it, the Anza, Borrego, and Ocotillo Wells desert area.
Now, you might remember when I did my review of this case for you. It's about a 1 hour long review, and it's in that playlist. It's the first video that should pop up. I did show a map of where some of these locations were. So where Maya and Larry lived with their children really had, 10 or 20 miles to the west is the Pacific Ocean, which is obviously very vast. And then to the east is vast desert. Anza Borrego Springs, I think I pulled up. I can't remember if I pulled it up for you in the review or not, so I'm not going to guarantee that. But I did look up a lot of these locations and just brought back a memory for me. I'm not an off-roader by any means, but years ago, I had gone with a friend. She said, "You want to go rock hounding?" And I was like, "What's that?" Sure. And we jumped in. Guess what? Her Jeep. She was much more, into that kind of thing. But we went out into this area where he's describing and found really cool rocks. And I think I might have shared an experience one time on YouTube about how she, as we were leaving, she was kind of reckless with her Jeep, and she almost bottomed the entire thing out, went over a hill, I guess you'd say, and then boom, landed in a kind of a lower spot. We both screamed. I was like almost hitting my head on the roof. It was kind of fun. So I can see the attraction. It was wholesome, fresh air, seeing the desert, which is not something I see very often. And so what he's describing is just kind of a normal thing for people who like to do off-roading because there are vast desert areas. This also contributes into why finding Maya has been so difficult. Was she taken to the ocean? There was some discussion about Larry going to the coast, actually just north of where I am here, which is very far south of him. He said he was in Torrey Pines. Or did he lie, and did he actually take her to the desert? And so most of the searches have been in the desert trails in areas much farther east of San Diego. So just a little side local information there for you. Hope it helps.
So the first trip was December 12th, 2020?
Correct.
Where did you first meet May on that trip?
So we typically meet at an area just above whatever trail we're about to embark on, for everybody to kind of muster up, talk about the trail, let air out of their tires. So I believe there was a spot just before the main trail that we got off on.
So typically,
I'm a bit confused.
Sure.
How is it that you came to meet her, that you both ended up on that trip on December 12th?
Sure. So there was a run that was put together, initially orchestrated by one of our sort of leaders in our little clique. And then there was just an influx of people that they had invited.
So the leader of the run invited both of you.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, there was probably at least 10 or 12 other Jeeps, I believe, on that run.
and you referred to a Jeep run. Can you tell us what that is referring to?
Sure. So it's a meetup, much like you would meet up with friends to go on a hike or something, or go out in the town, but we meet up with our Jeeps to a specific location, and then we do a trail, usually 2 to 4 to 6 hours, depending on how many rocks you want to take pictures on top of. And we just run through the desert, and that's it. So that would be a Jeep run.
So this particular Jeep run, organized by someone that was a mutual friend or a mutual acquaintance within the Jeep community of both you and Maya.
Correct.
And this meeting place, is that something that you typically do as well? Find some sort of meeting place so that all the Jeeps can converge prior to going out on the.
Yeah. So we like to caravan together. So sometimes within the clique, you may find people that live in the same proximity as you. You know, myself in East County, so we'll say, hey, so and so lives out here too. Do you guys want to meet up at, you know, a specific location, McDonald's, whatever, and then head down to the desert, and then we all, as one large group, will converge and meet at one specific location, usually designated by whoever's putting on the run.
I'm sorry, this is kind of unrelated to the trial, but I always pick up so many different things when I'm watching trials, and I have never heard of someone refer to their own group of friends or gatherings as their clique. I've always thought of clique as having somewhat of a negative connotation. I'm going to have to look up that word and the origins of that word, but let me know if you found that odd. I just thought it was odd, unusual. I really like this witness. No shade to him. Just thought that was an unusual way to use that word.
For example, the chevron off of the freeway might be a meeting spot.
Yep, down in Jacamba.
Jacamba is, that's,
Gosh, Jacumba.
thank you. So for example, if someone was part of this organized trip who lived in Santee and another person lived in Chula Vista, you might meet them at the chevron. From there, go out to wherever the trails are.
Yeah. Usually we try to muster up at a sort of last call gas station before we hit the trail. Fill up our gas tanks, get snacks, get drinks, you know, use the bathroom.
And you said something about letting air out of the tires. Tell us about that.
Sure. So when you're going off road, basically there's two things that happens when letting air out of your tires. You gain better traction because you have a wider contact patch. So if we're doing any sort of crawling or going over obstacles, you have a better chance of doing it. And it also, being that we're on the dirt roads, rocky roads, you know, non-maintained roads, letting air out also gives a softer ride.
And then I presume after you.
I can tell you my friend Kathy did not let air out of her tires, for sure. I swear I thought we were going to end up stranded in that desert that day. It's kind of funny. Also, just a little input here, because during the trial upcoming and throughout this hearing, you're hearing a lot of, and I've mentioned this earlier, Spanish names of Spanish origin. So he mentioned that Jacamba was spelled Jacumba. So J is pronounced H, not J. So it's not Jacamba, it's Jacamba. And then also, I think I've mentioned earlier that double L, like in Maya's last name and Larry's last name, double L is generally pronounced like a Y, a Y with a little bit of a L intonation. So Millete is not Millete, it's Millete. If you hear me pronouncing that way, I'm just doing my very best to honor the way that the name is supposed to be pronounced.
You finish with the Jeep run, you then
Put the air, you put air back in your tires. Yeah. So that's another convergence point where people kind of talk about the trail and talk about, you know, wins and, you know, always talking about how much more money they want to spend on their Jeep. And then people might share their compressors to put the air back in their tires. So, yeah.
is there a lot of gear or sort of extra toys that can be purchased when you're a Jeep enthusiast?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, there's a lot.
Of course.
It really just depends how much money you want to spend. It never ends.
So you were part of this first Jeep run, December 12th, and how many Jeeps did you say were part of that?
I want to say approximately 12.
And I'll refer to as, did you introduce yourself to you as Maya?
Yes.
Was Maya there with her 2 children?
She was on that run just with her 2 daughters.
So tell us a little bit about what that run, what you guys did on that Jeep run.
Sure. So I was particularly excited because I had just invested some money into my Jeep and wanted to see how it performed. I met Maya there, and she was specifically excited because they had just bought that Jeep for her. It was a nice one, top of the line.
What kind of Jeep did she have?
She had a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. So that's kind of top of the line that you can get off of the show floor, as it were.
So make note of this. Her friend understood that the brand new Jeep Rubicon that was described by other friends, or you'll hear it, as Maya's dream car, was bought for her. She said they had purchased it for her. In other words, Larry and Maya purchased it for her use. because this came up earlier. You might recall in earlier episodes when Maya's sister was testifying about Larry taking the Jeep out and disrespecting it, basically.
She was just a little ball of energy, and it was rather infectious. Her daughters were just a ball of energy with her. They were just having girl time. It was great to see. I have 2 young kids, so it holds a special place in my heart to go out there, take my kids out there, and have fun. And her girls were having just as much fun.
Is it also common to take photos on these Jeep runs?
Yes. In fact, I would say you didn't go on a Jeep run if you didn't take at least 20 pictures.
And were there photographs taken of this particular Jeep run?
Yeah, absolutely. I captured some photos of her and her daughters. There was one specific obstacle, as it were, that we went down that she closed her eyes, because she was apprehensive and probably overly excited about what it meant to do that, a little scared probably. So I remember taking that photo.
So obstacles, I mean, how does it go? You kind of say, we're gonna go up this trail and kind of take on this obstacle, who's gonna go first, or how does that work?
Yeah, so usually each trail kind of has a rating, whether it's locally or nationally known or not. Usually by the person that's leading the run will know the difficulty of the trail, and they'll say, hey, this is going to be pretty crazy. You can get into some stuff where your Jeep's going to get off camber.
I'm sorry?
Off camber would be really tilted, 15, 20, 25, 30 degrees. You kind of get uneasy in those positions. So that would be, going over an obstacle can create something off camber. But yeah, we would be going down a trail, and the leader of the group, again, at our original muster point, would say, hey, this is kind of what to expect for you guys. Of course, that's all depending on how involved the person leading the run is.
And just for the record, when you say off camber, you describe that you kind of put your 2 hands at an angle.
So this is the Jeep. And then we would be going like that, like climbing walls intentionally.
Just for the record, the witness put his 2 hands up, palms facing down, and kind of his 2 thumbs just about half an inch apart, and kind of angled them towards the side to indicate the Jeep riding at a slight angle.
Yes, when it's off camber, you said?
Off camber, yes.
Okay, yes.
So-
We'll
So if you're wondering, this is another example. I'm not sure if we talked about this or not, but I haven't seen it as much as I have seen in this hearing, where the prosecutor is describing for the written record, even though there's video of it, they rely on transcripts. So when a witness has used body language, especially to describe something, like he was describing what camber meant, then the prosecutor has to pause for the court reporter for her to describe what the body language was so that the court reporter can make a record of it. So that's very important. I've never seen it done to this extent, but again, it reminds us that courts rely on the written record more than the video record, which I think is odd, but okay, I think that'll change soon.
So you don't use your hands. Whenever anyone uses
Okay.
their hands, we have to then describe it for the record.
Understood.
Did, as part of these Jeep runs then, is it either the leader or as a group, do you kind of take the temperature of the other individuals involved, in other words, how experienced they are?
We do, and we'll usually try to run it in some organized fashion where we try to have people that are more experienced running in various positions of the run. So if, let's say you have, 12 to 15 Jeeps, you'll have the leader in the front. You'll have somebody that leader knows and trusts because they've ridden with them and say, hey, can you catch the middle for me? And then another person will catch the tail end. So there's always, the beginners will be sandwiched in between other people that are experienced.
And what was Maya, if you know, was she?
She was a beginner.
Beginner. Do you know whether or not this was her first Jeep run?
I can't say specifically. I don't know.
Did she seem interested in learning more about Jeeps?
Yeah, totally.
Why
She
do
caught
you
the
say
bug. Because I mean, like all conversations, when we get to the air up point, everybody's excited talking about, oh, what about this? What is that you have there? Usually, that level of engagement indicates they want to keep doing it. They want to buy more. Yeah.
And was that the attitude that Maya expressed as well?
Totally.
Your Honor, may I first witness?
With that, we're going to sign off for the day. I want to thank you again for joining me, for supporting this endeavor that I'm doing to go through the entire hearing. And do please remember that Maya is still missing. Her family would still like nothing more than to get answers as to where she is, get her back if possible. And a lot could happen between now and the trial. Hopefully some positive things for Maya's family and friends and loved ones. So again, thank you for joining me. Feel free to get the whole context, look at the playlist, share the playlist, because the more publicity we can get on this trial, this case, the closer we're getting to trial, the better for Maya's family. So we'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. Thanks again. Bye for now.